the number one thing with your workouts is that they have to be lower volume. You're getting tons of volume from your practices and your games, so you have to lower your volume for your workouts. You can't just go doing the same high volume that you did in the off season and then just go add 6 days a week of practices and games. It's going to be too much. You're going to break down your body.
Give them an example of a workout.
Okay, I will.
I mean, I'm talking about rep wise. What do you mean by volume? Just real quick.
Okay, so I'm going to get to that, but
Okay,
just very quickly.
Yeah.
That's okay. So I'll just get to it now.
Okay.
What I like to do in season is microdosing. What microdosing is so in the off season we might do an hour and a half workout. Microdosing in season would be like you do a really good warm up, and then you do maybe 1 or 2 plyometrics, high intensity plyometrics. Remember, you don't need the low intensity, you don't need the agility because you're already getting that from your basketball. So it might be something like depth jumps or drop jumps or seated box jumps or sprints or practicing your worst approach. Since you jump off your best approach every time you do a layup or a dunk in game, I would practice your worst approach because you don't do that as much in your training, in your basketball. So microdosing, you do your warm-up, then you might do 1 or 2 plyometrics, then you do 1 main power movement. It might be a hang clean, it might be a dumbbell box jump, it might be a high pull. Then after that, you do 1 main movement for your session, like a squat, a deadlift, trap bar deadlift, whatever it might be. You could even put cleans or high pulls, hip thrusts, RDLs, rear foot elevated in there, and I'll get specific on that very soon. And then at the end, you might do 1 accessory or post-chain movement, like a single leg Romanian deadlift. You might do some core, some hyperextension, some monster walks, or some glute medius work. So by microdosing, what I mean is these sessions are only 30 to 45 minutes. Okay, these aren't the hour and a half sessions that you need. You're really only doing 1 main movement for each category. And you can, depending on the day, if it's before a game or on game day, you might skip that high intensity plyometric. You might skip that accessory movement because you don't want to be sore for your game. So you don't really want the single leg RDLs or the posterior chain or the volume work. And you might do just a good warm up, a power movement, and then your main movement, like a clean or a high pull or a squat or a trap bar deadlift. And then that's it. Okay. So so the sets and reps you asked about, it would be something like 5 sets of 3 reps.
5 sets of 3 reps
5
versus
sets.
What would you have them do normally in the off season?
Normally, so let's say we come right out of season,
Okay.
And we haven't hit volume in a while. We might do something like a pyramid. Like your first set, you're doing lower load, lower weight for 10 reps. Then your next set, you're doing 8, and then you're doing 6.
Okay.
And then you're doing 4, and then 2. But for vertical jump's sake, you mostly want it to be very high intensity, low volume. So 5 sets of 3 reps or 5 sets of 2 reps is very common in my programs, in the workouts that I run.
Gotcha.
So by lower volume, I mean that take the normal sets and reps that you would do in the off season and almost cut that in half. And the exercises, cut that in half. You're not going to do your hour and a half. You're going to do your 45 minutes. Another thing with your workouts in season is that you're going to do less knee dominant work, less quad dominant work, because in basketball, it is very quad dominant. It is very knee dominant. It is a lot of deceleration. So in your workouts, you really don't need that much. So we still might do some squats, some deadlifts, and some knee dominant work, but it's definitely going to be less than it would be off season. So there's not too much more to say about that. Just understand that basketball is very knee dominant, very quad dominant. So in your workouts, you're going to want the opposite. And that's a general rule for in season. Whatever you are not getting from your basketball, you do want to get in your workouts. So, and going off of that point, strength training is going to be your biggest priority during season. So for your workouts, obviously basketball is the number 1 priority, but plyometrics, agility is not your number 1 priority because you're already getting that from basketball. So strength training, doing your weights, and that is going to be the priority in your actual workouts.
So basically everything that you do in a basketball game, you don't want to do during a workout, or at least you want to try to avoid.
Right. So let me break down a week. I'll just go through a week of what training would look like in season. By the way, I have a new program. It's called Beyond the Rim in season. So let's say this is just going to be an example. Let's say Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, you're doing legs. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, you're doing upper body. So no, I shouldn't say legs. I should say lower body, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and upper body, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. In your lower body workouts and in your upper body workouts, you're going to have a warm-up, 1 to 2 plyometrics, and you don't even need these if you don't want to do these, a main power movement, a main movement for the entire workout, like a squat, a trap bar, deadlift, etc., and then 1 accessory movement, and then you're done. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, lower body, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, upper body. Now this changes whenever you have games because you really have to do your workouts based on your games. But that was just an example of what we would do of the workouts and then what would be in each workout.
In season.
Correct.
Okay. And in which you just came out with a new program, in which you just created, well, not just created, but you just finalized your new program.
Right, I did. So it's called Beyond the Rim in season, and that is now available for anybody who just wants to take the guesswork out of everything.
Right, like the workouts and things like that, and then they get access to the app, and they can change their schedule around for their games. It's kind of cool, actually. I like the way the app is now set up.
Right, right. So the workouts, the sets, the reps, moving the workouts based on your game days and your practice days, all of that is available through Beyond the Rim in season with the website and the app.
Love it.